Good morning, and thank you everybody for coming. If everybody could stay standing for the national anthem. If everybody could remain standing while the Wilmington Police Honor Guard present the colors. Good morning. Everybody could please be seated now. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming out today to honor the career of Chief Joseph Desmond, 37 years strong with the Wilmington Police Department. For those who are used to our traditional retirement ceremonies, we decide 37 years, he earned a big top and a nice, beautiful day outside where we were on top of each other. So thank you for coming out. A lot of thank yous for pulling today together. Outside of the Wilmington Police staff, I want to thank the 4th of July Committee for donating the tent, Wilmington DPW for pulling this together. They worked hard all week. Public Buildings for taking care of the seats and everything. And the Wilmington Veterans Commission for helping us with the microphone. But once again, thank you again. Chief Desmond has been here for 37 years, and we felt today was a great way to honor and tribute a man who has served this community so admirably. To start off, I would like to invite the Chief up with his wife, Sue, and his daughters, Elena and Nicole. Elena and Nicole, come on. Obviously, we want to recognize Sue as his wife and his lovely daughters. And with that, Julie Magaldi and Jamie Biano will be presenting flowers. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, you guys. It's important to start out and recognize family. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do this job, and Chief Desmond has always had a strong support system behind him in his journey here. I'd like to thank you, everybody who's come out today, Senator Feingold, Town Manager Slagle, Assistant Town Manager, the Assistant Town Manager, Judy O'Connell. I'm wont to forget names sometimes, my apologies. All the department heads, the chiefs from the areas, the rank and file, former chiefs that have come, retirees, thank you everybody for coming. And with that, I would like to call up Senator Barry Feingold to say a couple words.
Thank you, soon-to-be Chief. Joe, by the way, I mean, you look great. I mean, for someone 37 years, you look amazing. And I also just want to recognize the family, Susan, and your kids. I know what it's like when your father's in the spotlight, and it's hard, and being that person behind the scenes. And we just want to thank you for that and for allowing all of us to share your father and husband for the last 37 years. And also, Chief, I want to thank you also. Obviously, what you've done for Wilmington is incredible, but what you've done for Nemblick, that is something that's super important to our area. What you've contributed there just means a lot. And the biggest thing that I think about, I think everyone who serves in a public position like this, is there's really only one thing that you want at the end of the day. And that one thing is, did you make your community better from when you started till now? And I can tell you firsthand, I know all of you agree, that this town is much better because of Joe and all his efforts. It's much safer. It has become such an incredibly popular, desirable, safe community. I can go on and on the great things about Wilmington. And on the forefront of that is public safety. And I give you the credit for that. So thank you so much, Chief. So as we do, we need you to come up here. We have a citation for you. And this is on behalf of myself and Representative Robertson. Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Chief of Police Joseph Desmond in recognition of the joyous and happy occasion of your retirement after 37 years of service with the Wilmington Police Department. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success. This is signed by the Senate President Karen Spilka, myself, State Senator Barry Feingold, on this date, September 4th, 2025. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Barry.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Feingold, for your continued support. At this time, I'd like to call up Town Manager Eric Slagle to say a few words and with the presentation.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to apologize in advance if I start to get a little choked up. It's not on purpose, but sometimes that happens. So we're here today to celebrate and say farewell to a man who has served this town with unwavering dedication, quiet strength, and more patience than most of us deserve, our police chief, Joe Desmond. To set the stage for my remarks today, I will first take you back to late August last year. I was a new town manager, only 2 months on the job. I had just gotten back from my first vacation. I was trying to learn my way around town, figure out what I'd gotten myself into. As I contemplated starting my first budget cycle, the one constant I felt was relief at having such good quality department heads. The sort of stability is incredibly important for me as a new manager. And that was one of the things I was going to lean on during my first year. Then I got a request for a meeting from Chief Desmond. He came to my office and said, "Eric, you seem like a really nice guy. I'm retiring." Luckily for me, that came with a year's notice. That meeting left me with a bit of anxiety, not surprisingly. I didn't know then what I know now, which is that Joe worked very hard to make sure that this command staff and department as a whole was well prepared for this transition. Now, Joe's career with the Wilmington Police Department began way back in October of 1987. I think that was when you were an intermittent. That's right, 1987. Reagan was president. Gas was 89 cents a gallon. Mullets were still socially acceptable. Some of you were probably in diapers. Many of the officers you have hired were not born. Others of us are still emotionally stuck in the 80s, but that's a different speech. For the younger officers who didn't know Joe before he was chief or a supervisor, I want to let you know that I did sit down and go through his personnel file in the hopes of finding some juicy details to share today. After all, for someone to work in the same place for 40 years, there has to be some skeletons in the closet, right? Well, much to my dismay, Joe's file was noticeably missing any salacious details, and instead was filled with commendations and letters from residents about what a great job he was doing. It's pretty boring, right? Joe rose through the ranks with a calm and steady hand. He was a sergeant in 1998, lieutenant in 2006, and in 2019 he became chief, which I assume was either a lifelong dream or just what happened when you stop making eye contact during department meetings. Let me be clear. Joe is not your typical TV police chief. He didn't yell. He didn't flip over desks. And to my knowledge, he never once yelled, "You're a loose cannon, Fiore." Though it would have been fun if you did. No, Joe led by example. He was level-headed, fair, always kept his cool, even when the rest of us were losing ours over snowstorms or budget cuts or the wonderful time that was COVID lockdown. Joe didn't panic. He didn't shout. He just calmly said, "Let's figure it out." And somehow we did. He treated his officers with respect. He treated the public with dignity, and yes, even when someone politely suggested that the speed limit on their street was just a suggestion, Joe responded with professionalism, not sarcasm. I don't know how he managed that. But behind the calm demeanor is someone who cared deeply, not just about doing the job, but about doing it right. Joe has been a constant presence in this town for nearly 4 decades. He's watched generations grow up, mentored countless officers, and been the voice of reason in a world that doesn't always make that easy. Now retirement is finally here. Joe tells us he's looking forward to some downtime, a few rounds of golf, maybe some travel, maybe just sitting in a quiet room when nobody asks him about taser contracts or where the community policing trailer is. After 37 years in uniform, I think he's earned that. Frankly, I think he earned it 10 years ago, but he stuck around, probably just to make sure the rest of you didn't set anything on fire. So Joe, on behalf of the town of Wilmington, your fellow officers, and everyone whose life you've touched, thank you for your service, for your integrity, for being the kind of leader people don't just respect, but admire. One final note, if you ever find yourself missing us, the door is always open. Maybe just not first. Congratulations, Chief Desmond. We wish you a long, happy, and calm retirement. Well, let's be honest, after a lifetime of law enforcement, even a traffic jam might be relaxing. Thank you. And now I get to do what I've done a few times, and you've got to see many of these. So it is the tradition here in Wilmington that when you retire, you get a Baldwin apple. Most of you are aware of this tradition, but for those of you who aren't, the Baldwin apple originated here in town, and we've been giving out crystal Baldwin apples to retirees for decades. And now you finally earned yours.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it. So I want to recognize a few more people. Bill and Marianne, Joe's in-laws, and Terry's father and Terry's brother. I just want to recognize them. I see Representative Robertson here. I'm going to call him up. Would like to thank publicly Representative Robertson and Senator Feingold and Select Board Member Gary DePalma. The drone's out here today. We finally, and Judy O'Connell, who helped us tremendously with the project. We finally have our drone. We appreciate it. We're going to do great things with it. But if we could call up Representative Robertson, please.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I was putting a little in the thought last night about what I wanted to say about the Chief's retirement today, and well, I should have wrote it down, but I've had the pleasure of serving Wilmington now officially as your representative for the last 8 years, and I've had the pleasure, even though I like the Chief secretly from Tewksbury, serving this town for a little bit more than a decade. And over the time I've worked in the role as representative and as an aide for the prior representative, I've learned a lot. I learned a lot from my predecessor. I learned a lot from the people around me. And Chief, even though I physically might look down on you, as a fellow community leader, I do look up to you. I think it speaks volumes that the men and women who make up the Wilmington Police Department, they don't just strive to excellence because of the fact that they want to be excellent police officers. That is the basis. But they rise to new heights because of the way you challenge them, the way you encourage them to grow, and the way that you did so truly impacted the rest of the community. The fire department, myself, the rest of town hall, you were part of that orchestra of asking for the best public service, and my God, did you deliver it. And you asked the same of the men and women. And Chief, it's been such an honor to learn from you and work beside you and to be under your watch every evening, truly. And thank you for not being quicker in my youth, for when if you had caught me, it might have stopped me from being here. But Chief, you're surrounded by friends, and truly in a sense, with your fellow officers, your family. So we're going to miss you like hell in retirement, but anytime you're welcome back, we're looking forward to it. And I hope to continue being friends and learning from you about how to be a better police, better leader, better community member. Thank you, Chief. We'll miss you.
Okay. Thank you, Representative Robertson. At this point, I'd like to call up the Wilmington Select Board Chair, Frank West, to say a few words, please.
Good morning, everybody. What a wonderful day. We couldn't have asked for better weather, and I think that having the tarp and everything, it's just an awesome event. On behalf of the Select Board, I've got members Gary DePalma, Lil Maselli are here with us. Kevin Kyra and Jake Airwar could not make it today, but certainly they send their regards. One of the things that's kind of been all said about you, Chief, I'd like to offer my personal congratulations to you and Susan on your retirement. And I think it's an awesome occasion. It's a sad day for Wilmington, but a great day for the Desmond family. It's nice that here's a Wilmington guy that made it all the way up to the ranks of chief. I actually graduated with your brother Terry and went to school with you. I think you were class of '84, correct? Right. So we were, as I was coming out, you were coming in, and same with Terry. But I did want to say something on a different note. One of the things in back of us, if you notice, is the Liberty Pole, which is reminiscent of colonial times in Wilmington. So one of my other hats that I wear here in town is the captain of the Wilmington Minutemen. So what I'd like to do, if you could come up for a second, Joe. As you know, the Minutemen were incorporated in 1775, And basically that was, kind of the formings of the birth of liberty. So what I'd like to present you is a colonial coin from 1775.
Thank you so much.
So, but again, I'd just like to thank you, Joe, personally, on behalf of myself, my family, and our board members in the town for all you've done for the town, and we look forward to hearing many good stories about retirement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. At this point, we've had a strong partnership with the DPW, and I would like to invite Jamie Ugaldi and Jerry Lawrenson up for a presentation.
Hi, everybody. For anyone that knows me knows that I'm no stranger to the stage, so Jerry and I would like to take this time to sing a duet.
Take request.
In all honesty, it's nice seeing all the past retirees here, and if there's one thing to look forward to, everyone that's retired looks about 10 years younger. But just remember, you'll never look as young as Bobby Shelley. In all seriousness, Deputy Pupa hit it right on the head. We've always been proud of our partnership with Wilmington Police Department, but it has been noticeably stronger since we've taken over, and we appreciate that. So we wanted to express the gift of our appreciation to you, Chief. If everyone sees the Chief's vehicle over there, if you want to just come up, Chief, if you could. We're going to take this time to actually turn that vehicle over to you. On behalf of DPW, we appreciate all your cooperation in keeping not only the public safe, but also our employees on the road, supporting our projects, and it's really been a pleasure working with you, and we want to congratulate you and wish you best of luck. Thank you very much. So actually, I'll need your keys back. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jamie, and thank you, Jerry. So one of the passions of the chief over his last 6 years, he and his wife Sue have engaged in a number of fundraising organizations here for Cops for Kids with Cancer, whether it be Fun on the 4th festivities, whether it be National Night Out. They've always engaged with the help of Executive Assistant Don Amo. And in that endeavor, Cops for Kids with Cancer would like to make a presentation. So we have Board of Directors members Sal Mirabella and Chelmsford Deputy Chief Gary Hannigan. And I know Sal likes a microphone.
I don't know what he's talking about. Well, good morning, everyone. As he said, my name's Sal Mirabella. I'm on the board of directors for Cops for Kids with Cancer. This is a fellow board member as well. Also, my deputy chief in Chelmsford, Gary Hannigan. For those who are not familiar with Cops for Kids with Cancer, we are a nonprofit charity that directly supports those families financially who have a child 21 years of age or younger battling cancer. We hold the various fundraisers throughout the year. We have various police departments all over New England that support our mission of helping these families financially. Our biggest fundraiser is the Boston Marathon. We have approximately 120 runners every year, and they raise money anywhere between $400,000 and $500,000 every April we raise for these families. And the families can spend that money that we give them in any way they see fit. Most of it goes to medical bills that insurance doesn't cover. I would like to recognize a recipient, a family that's here currently today, Dawn. Dawn and her husband Mike from DPW. Their son had cancer many years ago. and he is doing extremely well. He's here. The man right there. We gave their family a donation. As you can see, he's doing fantastic, and I love that. Great story. We give $5,500 to every family through the money that we raised over the years. As of September 1st, just a few days ago, we have helped 1,154 families, totaling $6,124,500. I would not be here today, neither would Deputy Chief Hannigan, if Chief Desmond and the Wilmington Police Department weren't huge supporters of us. I believe it started back with Chief Pagonis. Thank you for being here, Chief. Good to see you again. Chief Desmond, you've been a supporter of us for a very long time. Obviously, I have to say it's probably because of Sue. And she does most of it, I gotta say, so thank you as well. But since approximately November of 2013, you guys have raised over $15,000 for us. And that's a huge amount of money. You've helped a lot of families. You've brought hope, comfort, and much needed support to children and their families in their greatest time of need. With that being said, Chief, I'd like you to come up because we have something for you.
I've got something for you, sir.
Well, who should go first? We have this award here for you, Chief, for our deepest appreciation. It says, Chief Joseph Desmond, Wilmington Police Department, in recognition of your exceptional support and generosity. We thank you very much.
My last fundraiser has been $2,000.
He just gave us a check for $2,000 that's going to go to directly help families with children with cancer. Thank you, Chief. All the best in retirement,
Thank you,
Chief.
Sal.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sal and Darren. For the next presentation, I'd like to invite up Senior Lieutenants Dan Murray and Chris Ahern. So the department is given a plaque in recognition of the chief's service to this agency over 37 years. And I just wanted to say a few words about the chief before we present him with the plaque. Chief officially, after his intermittent time, started here in July of 1988, right after he graduated Northeastern in June of 1988. So he was unemployed for a month, and then he has joined us, and he, up until 4 o'clock today, he has been gainfully employed by the Wilmington Police Department. Promoted the chief in April of 2019. He has distinguished himself as a person of high character and integrity, who was always approachable, a man with a friendly smile and kind words to those he met. He always tried to balance the interests of staff, the agency, and the community. During his career, he served on the NEMLEC, I believe it was TPF to start, and then the RRT for many years. He had the opportunity to participate in many call-outs, but I think the highlights were probably the multiple championship parades he worked in Boston. As chief, he's handled many unexpected events with poise and professionalism. Never one to respond emotionally, he calmly led the department through a pandemic, challenging political climates, police reform, and a hiring crisis. He faced these challenges head-on and made the most of these opportunities to enhance and improve the agency. He's hired an unprecedented 22 employees in 6 years, made 15 promotions during that time as chief, while having to replace the institutional knowledge of the staff who retired to create those opportunities. His steady hand has been consistent through any adversity, and he leaves an agency that is operating at a high level and is poised to continue to do so well into the future. Has always been a true professional. His leadership, mentorship, and friendship will be missed as he heads into retirement. Chief Desmond has certainly left his mark on the Wilmington Police Department, and we thank him for that, and wish him and his family all the best in his next chapter, where there will be many wonderful vacations and trips to West Palm, and maybe even Spain, I hear. Chief, if you could come up. At this time, I'd like to call up Lieutenant Sensabaugh and the Executive Assistant, Don Namer. We're going to make a presentation on behalf of the department. I'll let them.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Chief. On behalf of the men and women of the Wilmington Police Department, it is my honor to stand before you today as we recognize your retirement after 37 years of distinguished service. Your career has been defined by dedication, integrity, and a steadfast commitment to this community and the officers under your command. You have led by example, set the standard for professionalism, and have earned the respect and admiration of all who have had the privilege to serve with you. As a token of our gratitude, we present you with the shadow box, which contains the patches and badges representing your service and leadership throughout your career. May it serve as a lasting reminder of the countless lives you've impacted, the tradition you've upheld, and the legacy you leave behind. Chief, we thank you for your years of devotion to the Wilmington Police Department, and we wish you nothing but the best to you and your family in this next chapter of your life. Congratulations on a well-earned retirement. Yes, you are.
Thank you, Scott and Don. At this point, the Wilmington Police Honor Guard is going to present Chief Desmond with the flag that has been flying over the Public Safety Building on this day, September 4th, 2025.
Please stand. Present arms. Order arms.
Chief Joseph A. Desmond, Wilmington Police Department. This flag was flown on September 4th, 2025 in honor of 37 years of distinguished service with the department. July 2nd, 1988, September 4th, 2025.
Everyone could please be seated again. Thank you very much. In a moment, I'm going to call up the chief. I believe he has a couple words to say. What I will say is, up until Tuesday afternoon, this was all a surprise to Chief Desmond until he came back from the range, saw the tent being put up, and saw an army of DPW members taking care of the station. So this was all a surprise. Middlesex TA, Mary Ryan, thank you very much for coming. Would you- And now I'm going to call Chief Desmond.
Thank you so much. To say I'm overwhelmed is an understatement. I knew nothing of this. I just assumed it would be coffee, cake, the apple, and a goodbye. But it's really, I can't express how grateful I am for this ceremony right here. It reminds me of an old FedEx commercial I saw one time where the guy was finally retiring from some corporation, and everyone praised him and gave him gifts and just went on and on how he'll be missed. And the joke of the commercial was he comes up to give his speech and says, "You people love me so much, how could I leave?" I just want you to know that that won't be happening this morning. I am not here to impart a lot of words of wisdom on you, but there are some things that I have learned in my 37 years of doing this. And the deputy alluded to this earlier, but you cannot have a successful career in this field that we've chosen without the support of family. It just doesn't work that way. And I have had the blessing of that for my entire career. Tomorrow will be my 32nd wedding anniversary with Sue. And she has been there the whole time supporting me in whatever I wanted to do in this crazy profession. I remember all the years as a younger patrolman when I would ask, "Are you okay if I work that 4 to 12 shift Saturday?" And she would say, "I support you in whatever you want to do." And then I would have to navigate what that meant. But more than her support, she's taught me more than anyone else what perseverance and courage is. I can tell you firsthand that the strongest person in this family is not the one with the gun and the badge. It has been you, and it always has been you, and I appreciate all you've done. To Elena and Nicole, who learned early on that the 4 and 2 schedule doesn't always coincide with birthdays, holidays, dance recitals, what have you. You never held it against me, and I always felt the pride that you felt for me and what I did for a living, and it helped me through my career, and I thank you. To my brother and my father, I started this job very young. I was 21 years old, and they kept me very grounded and reminded me that I was just a kid from North Street, and I was doing the exact same things I am now chasing these kids around town for doing. So I appreciate that. To my in-laws, Bill and Mary Ann Simpsons, thank you for treating me like a son. Even when the job pulled me away from holidays, birthdays, you along with my dad were always there to fill in those gaps and made me feel like I wasn't missing anything. I'll forever be grateful. You know, being chief wasn't something that was really on my radar. Bobby Richter was deputy, and Mike Pagonis was chief. They were young guys, they had a lot of career left in them, and I was happy where I was. But things moved pretty quick. Bob Richter went up to Maine and became a chief, and now he's also town manager. I don't know what that's about. And Mike took a job at Verizon, and I remember being in Mike's office, and he's telling me that I was being appointed acting police chief. And I must have had that deer in the headlight look, because I remember, I don't know if Mike remembers this, he stopped me at one point and said, "You do want this, don't you?" And I remember thinking at the time, of course, I have a wonderful community, very well supported, a great department, not a lot of internal issues. This is a dream job for a lot of chiefs would love to have a community like Wilmington. So in July of 2019, I became permanent chief. And I remember thinking to myself, this is going to be awesome, what could go wrong? 5 months later, a worldwide pandemic broke out. After that, about 5 months after that, came the death of George Floyd. Both these incidents would rock this community to its very foundation, and we would have to find ways to navigate through it. We were a community that prided ourselves on face-to-face contact, community policing, that's what we do. And now we're being told you can't get close to people. We had to navigate public health along with public safety. It was very easy. No, it wasn't. We were trying to make it up as we go along. There was a lot we didn't know. It was some scary times. And then came the death of George Floyd, which was absolutely felt by every police department in this country. We felt the weight of the scrutiny and the tension. We saw some of the largest civil unrest since the 1960s, and many of the officers sitting here right now are on the front lines of that. It was a very difficult, intense time. But I always felt that Wilmington was different, that we did things a different way. We had our own march here in town, and it was organized by a young woman who grew up here in town. It was very peaceful. There was no finger pointing. There was no violence. There was no destruction. Just a shared sense that we want. That's a sign. Just a shared desire for progress. And that's what I think makes this town different. That's all you need to know about this community and its relationship with the police department, because the organizer of this march reached out to us and wanted us to be part of it and be part of the planning. And that is something you just don't get in a lot of communities. And I will always be grateful for that. And that's the relationship that we build with this community, and hopefully we'll keep going. Another byproduct of the George Floyd situation was the creation of the Post Commission. Now, this was a commission set up to increase standards, training, and accountability. And I know in some ways this has caused a lot of frustration for my officers. But I want to speak directly to them right now. Do not be frustrated by the higher standards and demands that are placed upon you. And here's why. You already meet them, and you always have. You do not have to be worried about someone looking over your shoulder, because my experience as chief is you always do the right thing. And in the middle of all this social unrest and change, I had the pleasure of working with Deputy Chief Brian Pupa. As I found out that he wanted to become chief, the greatest advice I could give to Brian is find yourself a Brian Pupa. Through all these challenges that we've had, he has always been a steady hand, especially when it comes to the hiring craziness. During all this time, we were down 10 people, and no one was lining up to take this job. It was very frustrating, and that has changed a lot thanks to Brian, and we are not quite at full staff, but we are certainly getting much closer. Brian has been more than just a colleague. He's been a true friend. His support and, of course, our occasional banter up in the admin wing, I think, will be missed. But one of the things that makes it a little easier to walk away is because of Brian and soon-to-be Deputy Chief Scott Sensabaugh. As leaders in this department, I feel strong that they will take it to the next level. Brian had mentioned that at 4 o'clock I would be done today. Actually, after the speech, I would be done today. He doesn't know that. And of course, along with Scott and Brian, I certainly wish the men and women of this police department, I want to speak to you directly. You are the heart and soul of it all. You've been an absolute pleasure for me to brag about anyone who would listen. Select board, town manager, state reps, anyone who would listen and not roll their eyes. I bragged about your accomplishments. Sure, this organization has frustrations, disagreements, disputes. That's real, that's human. But I can tell you as I leave as chief, I am proud of each and every one of you and what you've accomplished. But I also like to recognize, and I know this is supposed to be about me today, but I also recognize the unsung heroes of this department that support us so often and do all the work behind the scenes, and they don't get very little recognition. One of them is the dispatchers. I don't know if there's any dispatchers here today. I see Jill. They are the calm voices in chaos. They're that bridge between the citizens and then our response to them. They're a lifeline for officers and of firefighters and the public. And they see people, or hear people actually, in their worst moments. We could not do any of this work without them. To my incredible admin staff, especially I want to thank Susan. I know Susan's retired, but Julie and Susan's replacement, Jamie, somewhere. Thank you for all the work that you do. The incredible amount of records requests is not getting any easier. The never-ending request for firearms, citations, parking, you people, your attention to detail, all the work you do behind the scenes to keep it going, all while putting up with interruptions every single day that just come naturally with running a police department. I cannot thank you enough, and I know you'll continue to do great work for Brian and Scott. That leads me to my executive assistant, Dawn. I can say without hesitation, I could not have made it through these past years as chief without you. Your ability to juggle 1,000 things at once and still be willing to drop what you're doing when someone walks to the door and needs something else, which happens about every 15 minutes. In many ways, I felt like we grew up in this job together, between marriage, the birth of our kids, the death of parents, and of course, that dreaded word, cancer. I felt like we've been through it all and have handled it all. And you've always been there. When you become chief, your circle gets very small. You have to be careful about who you complain to, what you say to, and who you vent to, trust me. And I've been able to do that with you for all these many years. I appreciate that. I appreciate your perspective. And I appreciate those times when you know I just needed a little quiet time in the office, as most chiefs do, with the door shut. I also want to thank your real family. I know Mike is here, and I know Anthony was here. I know Dom couldn't make it. I don't have to tell you what a special family you have and how great they have been to me and to this town. And I want to thank them for sharing this wonderful person with us for all these many years. I promise I'll wrap up soon. Chris Sullivan, our animal control officer. I think he's one of the best around. He's front and center. You don't realize how often they get called and how much work he does during the course of the week. And I appreciate all Chris has done and continues to do. To my fellow chiefs, I know there are some here. It seems like every chiefs meeting we lose one. This is a very difficult job. The demands and pressures are not going to get any easier. Please stick together with each other and know that I've listened to you, even though I might not have said it. I listened to senior chiefs and I learned so much from you, and it helped me greatly. Please continue to do that with the other chiefs because we're all going to need it. To the department heads, government committees, the finance committee, all of you, it's been a pleasure to work with you. Like I said in my email yesterday, you never failed to pick up the phone or call back or deal with any issues we had in town, and I appreciate it. The finance committee, the select board, you always kept us honest, but I never felt I wasn't supported, financially or otherwise. And it's much appreciated, and I'm sure you will do the same for Brian as he moves on. A quick note to all those who came before me. You can't spend 37 years doing this without being influenced by people like Jay Palmer, Billy Gable, who's here, Larry Redding, Mike Bagonis, Jimmy Hanlon, Paul Shalford, Brian Mood, Butch. The Chief Stewart is here, my first chief. I've learned so much from you. I wouldn't be where I am right now without taking a little from all you gave me and trying to move forward. And I appreciate it so much. In closing, understand I cannot possibly thank all the people I need to thank in one speech. I will reach out to you later, and just understand that it's much, much appreciated. But I do not want to leave without one more person. I want to thank the Fire Department and Chief Bill Kavanaugh. There's some natural Yankees-Red Sox tension between the police and fire department, but I always felt that me and Bill put a handle on that, and we let them understand that we all had the same mission, was to protect the lives and property of the people of this community, and I do appreciate the partnership I've had with Bill. So, as I step away from the badge after 37 years, I do it with a full heart, but an overwhelming sense of gratitude. I am so thankful for the friends I've made, the memories, the good we've been able to do in this community, and I'm most grateful for you allowing me to serve. I will never forget it. God bless you all, and good luck.
Thank you, Chief Desmond. This time I'm going to call up Middlesex DA Marion Ryan for a few words.
Congratulations, Chief. It's really a privilege to be here with you this morning to salute the leadership you brought to this department and the 37 years that you've spent serving here. You know, Wilmington's a very special place. I love this town. I grew up as a kid spending my summers on Silver Lake. And you have really a legacy, starting with Chief Stewart, of just really good leadership and people who cared and people who know the town. And that was really embodied in Chief Desmond. When you grow up in a place and you become the chief there and you've been well raised here, you bring a special knowledge of how things need to be here. And that was so much appreciated. But more than that, and I say this so often, and especially true for all of the other chiefs who are here as well, we could not do the things that we do here in Middlesex County if it were not for the chiefs that we have. I was just at a meeting before I came here and looking at numbers in terms of the safety of our communities. And Wilmington's an incredibly safe community, by the way, but everything we do is because of that partnership. And you know, the chief said he couldn't imagine himself becoming the chief. Sometimes I think those are the best chiefs, but he brought an incredible sense of responsibility and humility to this job. And that has been evident over the last 6 years. You had a very tough beginning. Mike Bagonis is either the smartest or the luckiest guy in the world, because as he ran down that driveway, things started happening, and that was a really tough way to come into this job. And you know, I was thinking a little bit, if you think back to 1988 when you joined the department, just in the last couple of days, we've had lots of things happen up at UMass, lots of places. Virtually every single piece of our own personal life has changed, as well as policing. When you started, we weren't on our smartphones. I couldn't find out everything I needed to know in a second. I couldn't shoot somebody a text message. We couldn't send up a drone the way we did yesterday. And we weren't getting any same-day deliveries from Prime. So much has changed. Just a little note there. But in being a chief in the midst of all that requires what you have really shown us in this department. Being adaptable, being innovative, and just being willing to listen and try new things and make changes. And not just for the sake of change, but for the betterment of your officers and, most importantly, for the safety of the community. And you've been willing to put in place a lot of things, whether it's Xena the dog, up to so many of the programs, you know, really getting behind National Night Out, the RAD program, all of the things that people take for granted. You know, you have a new baby, you bring your car for a car seat inspection. You have somebody suffering from an addiction. The police department here has been willing to help. They've really offered those things, the things that show that you have compassion and you can exhibit grace to the town. And that has really been a hallmark. So I am sad that you are going. It is a loss for us. And I will say, really, Chief Desmond has been often a very calm voice of reason as some things have come and gone and discussions have gotten a little heated, shall we say. And, you know, you've really led the way on so many of those things. But for your family who's been so generous with you, we are grateful, and the town is grateful, and I wish you Godspeed and a long and healthy retirement. Thank you.
Thank you, DA Ryan. So at this point, we're going to have a final call over at the Chief's Cruiser, and that's going to conclude today's ceremonies. After that, there's traditional cake and water and coffee over here, so please stick around, have conversation, catch up with some people. For those uniformed officers, we're going to rally up here to take that picture, but we're going to head over here now for the last call.
You know how to get home, right?
Today marks the end of an incredible era. After 37 years of honorable and dedicated service, Chief Joseph Desmond, badge number 147, is signing off for the very last time. Chief Desmond, you spent nearly 4 decades leading, protecting, and serving this community with honor, courage, and compassion. You have guided countless officers, stood strong through our hardest days, and celebrated the best of times right alongside us. You've worn the badge with pride, and in doing so, you have left an unshakable legacy, not just within these walls, but in the lives of everyone you've touched. Your leadership, your mentorship, and your friendship have made us all better officers. Your legacy will live on in the officers you've guided and in the community you have served. Chief, on behalf of your brothers and sisters in blue, dispatch, the essential members of our department, and the community you have devoted your life to, we thank you. We honor you, and we will carry forward everything you have taught us. After 37 years of answering the call, it's time for us to say, your watch is now complete. You may be leaving the job, but your impact will forever be a part of our history. Chief Desmond, congratulations. You are officially retired. We wish you a long, healthy retirement surrounded by your family and your friends. May your next chapter be filled with peace, happiness, and well-earned rest. It has truly been an honor to have you as our chief. Wilmington to all cars and portables, effective today at 1600 hours, badge number 147 will be retired.
Thank you all so much. It has been a privilege of a lifetime to serve this community, and more importantly, you wonderful people for the past 5 years. Please be safe and take care of each other. Car 30 is out.